This is a watershed moment in tech. AI is changing the world. And from a parochial perspective, many people are wondering if Ottawa tech companies can adapt and thrive in this new, brave new world of AI. Today's guest has broken not one, but two AI standards, and in doing so, attracted international reputation and closed a first funding round. Who is this funder? Who is this company? Stay tuned to find out in this episode of Techopia Live.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Hello, I'm Michael Curran from the Ottawa Business Journal. Welcome to Techopia Live. This is a podcast from OBJ that features interviews with next-gen technology executives as well as leaders from Ottawa's tech ecosystem. We've got a mission at Techopia. Our mission is to create a deeper level of understanding about what's happening in Ottawa, to explore issues that are common to those tech firms and also generally help those companies level up. Thank you for tuning in. If you're liking Techopia Live, please tell a friend, give us a review, give us a like, whatever you can do to support the show. Today's show is focused on the hottest topic in tech, which is, of course, AI. Ottawa has a burgeoning AI tech scene. In the past, we've talked a few times with people like Solon Angel, the founder of MindBridge, and now Remitian. We've also talked to Hai Nagim of AI Tinkerers Ottawa. And we had a recent episode of Techopia Live at Tech Tuesday that provided an overview of what's happening in terms of AI in Ottawa. But I'm really excited for today's show for a few reasons. One is we're focused on a serial entrepreneur with deep Ottawa roots who has already helped found and scale a unicorn and a centaur. Remarkable. And now he's pouring all of his technical smarts and energy into a relatively new AI venture that has created an API to help dramatically improve memory in AI applications. That venture, by the way, was funded in January 2026, so we can explore that in just a few minutes. Let's welcome our guest now. He is the founder and CEO of Backboard. Nope, scratch that, Backboard.io. Please welcome Rob Imbeault. Hey, Rob.
Hey, Mike. Thank you so much for having me.
Backboard.io.
Yes, sir.
It's going to become a household name, Rob. Listen, take my bet on this.
That's the goal. Everyone's saying this is just a ChatGPT wrapper. I want everyone saying, no, that's just a Backboard.io wrapper.
Yeah, I love it. And I'm really excited to explore the company, but maybe let's focus on you for a second. You and I have known each other for a lot of years. In fact, we punched each other in the face. Side story. Backstory there is you've been fight for the cure. We don't get into fights with each other, right, Rob? But you've had some. Rob, listen, you're still a young man. You've had unbelievable success in helping co-found Ascent. But give people a little bit of a personal intro.
Yeah, I mean, background as an engineer since 2003, and together with my two good friends, founded the supply chain transparency company. Funny story, like when John and Matt brought it to me, I just said, I'll build it, you sell it, we split it. And that was our shareholders agreement for like 2 years.
Okay, I hope that was revised at some point.
It definitely was. Once we took VC, yeah, they made us grow it up. And once Andrew came aboard, he was the adult in the room.
And you were at Ascent for, remind me, how long? I know it was a long time.
Yeah, well, it incubated with my my last startup, 10 Count, and that was a part of the top 40 back then.
Yeah.
And so that was probably for a year or two, and then I was there at Ascent for about 10 years.
Okay, really cool. And of course, your professional life did not end there. You've been involved in a number of ventures, and I think you're an angel investor in a few things around town and beyond. But let's talk about the new thing. The new thing is called Backboard.io. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so what we set out to build is the entire AI stack that's completely modular in one API, completely independent of a specific AI. And so right now, if you use ChatGPT and it's great and it remembers who you are, but Google Gemini just came out and I want to go use that, 3.0, it's awesome. I can go use that, but it doesn't remember who I am and I have to go and retrain that. And so what we wanted to build was a platform that future-proofed yourself against all future, the next best API, the next best AI. And then when we looked at memory, we decided that in a very un-Canadian-like fashion that everyone else was doing it wrong. And I have my old engineering hat on, and I have like a young, brilliant engineer as well. And we built our own homegrown AI memory, which is best in class.
That's super cool. And this past fall, you excitedly told me about breaking a big record. And this was kind of the moment where Backboard.io kind of exploded onto the scene. Can you tell us about that story?
Yeah, I mean, so in building it ourselves, we wanted to benchmark, like just baseline where we were. And we just went to see what is the industry benchmark, which was Locomo. And we ran it and we broke all the records. We thought we did it wrong. And so we repeated it. And then we contacted our friends at Queen's University, and it turned out to be real. And we sat on it for a few weeks and published all the results and published open source the repeatability, but we're an API company, anybody can repeat it at any time. And then we announced, and Google News, I think you were there at SaaS North, Google News picked it up and there's like 100 million viewers. And beyond that, and this is kind of a new development, there's another benchmark that tests another set. And we broke that one too. That's about to be released and published. No one has ever broken both. And so we're the best in class. So yeah, you are running a paper on it. It's a completely new, novel approach. And it's production ready. So we're incredibly excited.
That's super cool. You shared with me another anecdote at SaaS North, and that was that you set up kind of a makeshift booth. I mean, the companies just literally broke the record and coming together. And if I understood you correctly, there was literally a lineup of investors, like a dozen people or more. Is that true, Rob?
It was crazy. Like the poster in the booth was inaccurate. It was our old tech. Like it was just that's not what we do. We actually do this. Just because there's so much lead time to get a proper design in. And yeah, it's funny, my head engineer was with me and there was a physical lineup of VCs asking to invest. It was like an episode of Silicon Valley. Is very, very surreal. It was actually very nostalgic because Matt and I were in that position 10 years ago or 15 years ago. So that actually happened. And my engineer was like, is this normal? I'm like, no, this is not normal. And we hadn't decided whether or not to raise capital at all. It was a good friend of mine, also Ottawa superstar, that said, if someone wants to give you money, take it, because when you need it, they won't want to give it to you. And that's when we decided to take this a bit more seriously and go to the next level.
I want to ask you a little bit of a personal question. When you were at Ascent, you mentioned a couple of your co-founders there. You were doing as part of a team. Now you're doing it more solo. Is that have some appeal for you? Some uniqueness, or maybe even challenges or benefits?
I mean, not really, because like solo is really not solo. Like it's really getting hiring good people. And for me, I was very spoiled at Ascent. I grew, the product team, the engineering team, the DevOps team before I knew what DevOps was. But like I had Andrew and Russell. So like I never had to worry about finance. I had Matt. I never had to worry about marketing, and I had frontline sales. Like I never had to worry about that. So I was hyper focused. And so this is like, I likely will take on a co-founder in the go-to-market space very soon, because it's kind of a black box, and like to me. But I'm going to treat it like, that's, I'm Michael Jordan and that's my defensive skills. I have to like tune up until I become defensive player of the year.
You clearly hit a home run with the other co-founders at Ascent. Do you have a bit of the same feeling? Like, wow, this has really serious potential. Backboard.io.
Yeah, I think just the nature of memory specific. I think everyone is talking about it. I think timing is something you can't control, right? Like, and I think we've hit the timing. I think 2026 is going to be the year of state, the year of memory. The agents have to learn on their mistakes and their successes, and that's how they evolve. You can't do that without properly managed state and memory. So we want to be the best in the world in that, and it's on an API, so we've democratized it. Anybody can build on it.
That's really neat. We're going to take a break in just a second to give a shout out to one of our sponsors. But and this isn't really a technical podcast, but I did want to ask you this question before the break, which is, what enabled you, Rob, to find this unique breakthrough in terms of this record AI memory test, or even the general approach? Where did that come from? Is that your engineering experience? Is that some observation that you made? Help explain that a little bit more.
Well, so I think I'm pretty opinionated on the topic, but I think the metaphor of the human mind when it comes to AI or digital memory fails, right? It's digital memory. We never delete memory. We never delete data. That was like a steadfast rule for decades. So why should we do it now? So I think memory should be 100% accurate at all times, and I think it should be even more than that. How we approached it was like a combination. Like I'm lead architect, but my head engineer, who's brilliant, we'll go back and he'll bring new tech that I don't know how it works. I'm like this. I won't get into it, but then I have my old hat on, where basic principles like first principles still remain. Don't delete data, properly index it, properly normalize it. That we have to keep that, and that hasn't changed. And so, but these new tools have, so we leverage those, to manage the accuracy, to manage the latency, and so forth. So it's been a combination. It's been back and forth with my head engineer and building it, from scratch. And a lot of the current architectures or frameworks are open source, so we're able to look under the hood and see where they did wrong and see what we liked and didn't like. So that helped.
Okay. And one of the things that you and I talked about before the taping is, so the concept is 100% memory, so that whether I'm switching, AI apps, it knows who I am and what I've asked before, and all this data on me. But you intrigued me, and I'll probably botch this, Rob, so correct me. You said, you don't only want 100%, you want 120% or something like that. And I think the concept was, not only should AI remember who I am and remember my queries and remember my data, but it should continue working in the background, so to speak, on some of those queries, so that if I come back to ask it a similar question, it says, oh, by the way, here's an update on some of the topics you've been interested in. Did I get that remotely right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay.
When you are, and this is where we'll go back to the human, when you're remembering things, you're remembering within a topic context, within a user context, within a world context. And when you retrieve that memory down the road, all those things change, or many of those things change. Likely the topic has changed. So that retrieval should be enriched with all of that new content. So not only should the data that returns is 100% accurate, we should be like, by the way, this is related to this that's happening in the world. In this particular context, maybe you should consider these things. Like that's what digital memory, I think the promise of AI memory in particular should deliver.
That's really cool. All right, we're going to take that sponsor shout out, and we'll be back to talk about Backboard.io's recent funding round. I want to pause for a second to recognize the sponsor of this episode, U Ottawa Faculty of Engineering. Welcome to the University of Ottawa's Faculty of Engineering, where world-class researchers and state-of-the-art facilities drive innovation and skills development. Explore the U Ottawa IBM Cyber Range, an unparalleled immersive facility in downtown Ottawa. Developed with IBM, it offers hands-on cybersecurity training and serves as a testing ground for cutting-edge technologies. Perfect for organizations seeking to elevate their cybersecurity expertise, the Cyber Range offers customizable training tailored to your needs. At the University of Ottawa Canada North Campus, the Smart Connected Vehicle Innovation Center is at the forefront of autonomous and connected vehicle technology. Through strategic partnerships, we can co-innovate with industry leaders in Canada's largest tech park. Learn more about our facilities and how we drive your organization forward by visiting our website today. Thanks to our friends at the Faculty of Engineering at U Ottawa for their support of Techopia Live. Rob, you might be needing some of those engineers.
That was an impressive commercial. I'm like, whoa, look at that. Look at that facility.
Yeah, it's they do some cool things. And, you know, I got to say, I met recently with the new Dean of Engineering, and I get to give them a shout out here again. They are very focused, Rob, on working with private sector companies. So they have a very modern view of what an engineering school should be. But back to Backboard.io. Rob, you shared some news recently about a funding announcement. What can you tell us about that?
I did. Yeah, I met with our good friends in Ottawa, Mistral, and they, Clipfolio and Cohere, and it was friends of friends. I didn't really know them. We got introduced and just sort of hit it off, and they have such incredible partners, some of which are legends in the space in Silicon Valley that blew my mind. And then N49P with Alex Norman and Omar. They just met them, and you just get along with people, and then they came in as a co-lead with Mistral, and we had actually closed, and then there was a couple of strategic angels, and then something fun happened where we closed the round. We have enough money, we'll go. Garage Capital came. They came sniffing around. They heard about us. Garage Capital, I think, it has like the second biggest return in Canadian fund history with their Grok investment. This is before that happened because that's pretty recent, and just got along really well with Mike, and just like these guys are operators, and then we just opened the round to let them participate, and so it's just kind of been a kind of a dream. I do want to say that this round of raising capital, I've spoken to probably a couple of dozen Canadian VCs, and everyone's been excellent. I think Canadian VC is having a moment. Even the VCs that passed on us, and even the VCs that we passed on, I'm friends with a couple, actually friends probably with all of them now, because they're just asking excellent questions, changing my go-to-market, changing my deck. And it's just conversations, right? I give them the deck. I don't talk to slides, but I think Canadian VC and tech and especially AI is having a moment. It's been so encouraging.
That's awesome. And again, in our coffee session a few days ago, you were saying you're learning a lot. They're contributing something more than just writing a check. It sounds like they're contributing to where Backboard.io might develop, how it goes to market, so on and so forth. So there's some real value being added here.
Yeah. I mean, access to their portfolio, really getting early feedback, because we are still pretty early, with seasoned and meeting with seasoned CEOs. This is my first gig as CEO. I always had Andrew,
Yeah.
and I had Matt and John.
The
So
money
this is my
guy.
first gig as CEO. Yeah. And I'm part of that Invest Ottawa CEO bootcamp type thing. So yeah, egos to the side. I just want to learn how to be a great, leader.
That's awesome. That's great. I probably can guess, but this first amount of money raised will go to hiring some more staff, getting office space, obviously plowing it back into R&D. But where are you spending it?
Yeah, I mean, a new paint job on the office space, industrial park. It's very. I think you were at the first industrial space. I use the same muralist just to have fun, and I need my engineers in the same room. So it's going to be Ottawa-based engineering team. We're lucky; it's pretty dense when it comes to engineering talent. Hiring more go-to-market, probably nationwide, and then investing in the tech. There is a greater than 0% chance that we have a theory on a new piece of technology that will render our current piece of technology obsolete, but that's what you have to do to get to that 120%. So yeah, I want to invest in that. We're investing in our go-to-market is hackathons right now. It's the next generation of builders, and I think we spoke about it briefly. The Waterloo guys, the U of T guys, the Queens guys, the McMaster guys, the Ottawa U guys, obviously, these kids are developing in 3 days what would have taken us years before.
Wow.
And yeah, it's so encouraging to see what's being built. We're sharing a lot of it. We're funding some of it, and then it's also a deal flow for our venture capital colleagues, where like, hey, these kids might want to take this a bit further. Why don't you help them out?
Yeah. It seems like they're embracing the technology, in a completely different way. Maybe the analogy would be, this generation that was born, digital first compared to like just like us, right? Like they're going to use technology in a different way. And now there's another generation that is just looking at AI in a more, I don't know how to say it, fundamental way.
Yeah, it's just a part of their operating system now, and that's kind of the thesis for Backboard. In hackathons, they're time constrained, and you can have your entire AI stack up and running in minutes as opposed to months. Because current state, you want to have state managing your threads, and you have to go learn LangChain. You want to have like document and internet and data retrieval. You have to create your own RAG. You want to build your own memory, or you've been open source. You still have to pipe that in, and we're actually less expensive than open source at the end of the day. So you're up and running very quickly, and then you're future proofed against all your the next generation of AI.
Cool. We're recording this in early 2026, Rob. I wonder if you could look further into the year, whether it's mid, late 2026, 2027. What should we expect to see from Backboard.io?
I mean, I would like to be the go-to AI stack provider for the next generation of builders, but also for enterprise. I think once there has been some failures in AI deployment in enterprise, I think that from top down, inject AI, please, and I'm going to expect 40% more productivity without any leadership there. I think we can help that, I think everyone's going to remember Backboard as being the best AI memory in the world. We were the pioneers. When you're in university and like you say that, like you write an essay to further the conversation along, that's what we want to be. We want to further the conversation in AI.
That's a great vision. Listen, we're going to start wrapping up, Rob, but before we do that, it's time for our Building a Better Working World segment brought to you by EY.
Hey, I'm Rob Imbeault from Backboard.io, and we are building a better working world by providing the entire AI stack in one single API with the world's best AI memory.
That sounds like a good answer. Rob, I really want to thank you for spending some time with me today. I admire you for your technology savvy and what you've done, but beyond that, you're just a great guy. You've done a lot for the community, whether it's Fight for the Cure, whether it's sharing some of your mental health journey. I think you've been just such a contributor to the city, and we're so fortunate to have someone like you as part of Ottawa, Rob.
Oh, thanks so much for the kind words, Mike. Yeah, I feel the same way about you.
Okay.
Thanks for doing all this.
Okay. Well, thanks, Rob, and best of luck. We'll stay in touch, and so eager to continue following Backboard.io. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
All right. That was Rob Imbeault, a company we'll keep our eyes on. But before we wrap, let's take a look at some of the other great companies that sponsor our Techopia journalism project. Techopia is brought to you by many great sponsors, such as EY, Building a Better Working World; Perley Robertson Hill and McDougall, a leader in business and technology sector law; the University of Ottawa Faculty of Engineering, creating the next generation of technical talent. Techopia is not only a podcast, we post new articles daily at obj.ca/Techopia. And if you're on YouTube, please subscribe and click the bell icon. Thanks again to Rob for being part of today's show. I think For a long time, there was questions, about where Ottawa was situated from an AI perspective, and everyone was very focused, of course, on the success of MindBridge and Solon Angel earlier. But as the months and years go on, I think Ottawa's finding its way in terms of AI, and love Rob's comments in terms of some of those hackathons. Hacker House here in Ottawa. There's a great the AI Tinkerers that I mentioned earlier. There's a great kind of groundswell of activity. So that makes me really hopeful. Listen, 2026 is going to be a big year for OBJ. It's our 30th anniversary. And we're not only going to celebrate with a party, we will do that. But we want to celebrate with our audience and improve what we're doing for you. And I'll give you three concrete examples of that. We've recently, after 30 years, stopped publishing a tabloid newspaper. So the days of OBJ's core product being a newspaper are over. We're switching to a beautiful, oversized, glossy magazine format that will debut in February. Super excited by that. They'll be published 5 times a year. Most of the distribution, by the way, will go to our OBJ insiders. So that also is a change a little bit from what we call our bulk or controlled circulation model to a mostly subscriber-only model. The second thing I wanted to flag is some changes coming up to obj.ca. You'll see a change to our homepage to give you a better sense of everything we're working on. Also, our article pages will move to a continuous scroll format to make it easier for you to consume content. And the third thing, speaking of easier to consume and access content, these days it's getting a little bit riskier for media companies to depend on platforms like social media. As you might recall, Canadian media is still banned from Meta. So it's becoming more and more important for us to create direct channels. And for that reason, we'll be launching a new mobile app, both for Apple and Android. So stay tuned for all those changes. I want to thank you for watching and or listening to Techopia Live. Let's keep building Ottawa's technology utopia. That's Techopia. See you soon. Bye-bye, everyone.